Third time was a charm. There you go. Can everyone hear me okay? This is good? Wonderful. Okay, they did give me a clicker, so I'm going to put this here. Okay, hello everyone and welcome. It's wonderful to see so many familiar faces gathered here tonight as we reflect on an incredible year for the Bowmanville Hospital Foundation. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Maria Petri, and I have the privilege of serving as CEO for the foundation. Before we begin, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional and treaty territory of the Mississaugas and Chippewas of the Anishinaabe, known today as the Williams Treaties First Nation. We recognize and honor their enduring presence, resilience, and contribution to the land now known as the Municipality of Clarington. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to our elected officials present this evening, Mayor Adrian Foster, Council and Deputy Mayor Grenville Anderson, Councillor Sammy Elijah, and I do believe I saw Councillor Willie Woo. So thank you. And as well, I would like to acknowledge members of our board, Lakeridge Health Partners, donors, volunteers, and all of our special guests. Thank you for joining us this evening and for your continued support for the Bowmanville Hospital Foundation. Each year, our annual general meeting gives us an opportunity to reflect on the progress we've made together. Recognize the people behind the progress and look ahead to what comes next. This year's theme is a legacy of care, and it speaks to lasting impact of community generosity and a shared belief in the importance of exceptional healthcare. For generations, local residents have stepped forward to support Lakeridge Health Bowmanville Hospital, and that legacy continues today through every donation, through every partnership and endorsement that has been made. That legacy is also helping shape the future of healthcare right here in Clarington. This has been a significant year for the Bowmanville Hospital redevelopment, with important milestones bringing us closer to a modern hospital that will expand access to care for our growing region. Last Friday, we saw the historic Lambert House relocate to its new home, where it will serve as a welcoming landmark at the entrance of the future hospital. And yesterday, Lakeridge Health and the Ontario government took another step forward in the Bowmanville Hospital redevelopment. The journey. Shortlisted, a design and build team submitted their detailed proposal, signaling the close of request for proposal stage of this project. Tonight, you'll hear reflections on a remarkable year for the foundation, updates on the highly anticipated redevelopment, and stories that demonstrate the power of philanthropy and has in supporting patients, families, and healthcare all across our region. And as 2026 marks the foundation's 50th year, we'll also take a moment to recognize some of the individuals and organizations whose support has helped shape our history and strengthened our future. We're honored to welcome special guest speaker Christine Simpson, who will share her personal perspective on the importance of strong local healthcare and the effect it can have on families and communities. You will hear from her later this evening. It is now my pleasure to introduce Laura Shorey, Chair of the Bowmanville Hospital Foundation Board of Directors. Since joining the board in 2019, Laura has provided thoughtful leadership, steady guidance, and a deep commitment to improving local healthcare. Please join me in welcoming Laura to the podium.
I got my notes, yeah. Frankie just said, let me take your notes. I went, oh God, no. Well, I created a new script. Wow. I was just telling Frankie that I was given a script by the foundation staff and I've chosen not to use it. Look at her face. Hey, I'm stepping down as chair tonight, so I'm going for it. Good evening, everyone. As I prepared for tonight, after 2 years as chair of the Bowmanville Hospital Foundation, I wasn't thinking about fundraising goals or strategic planning, redevelopment projects, or even board meetings. I was thinking about the legacy of care. And it brought me to think about my granddaughter, Lena, and also a conversation I had in the emergency department at the Bowmanville Hospital. This past weekend was Father's Day, and my 8-year-old granddaughter, Lena, brought home a small bean plant from school and wanted to transplant it into a larger pot. So together we filled a new pot, and we carefully moved the plant, and then we gave it a little bit of water. Afterward, watching the baby plant carefully, Lena asks, "Is that enough, Nona?" And I told her it was. But she obviously wasn't convinced because she turned toward me with a concerned look on her face and said, "I'll be right back." And she ran off into the house. A few moments later, she reappeared carrying a small glass of water. And she moved slowly and deliberately and was watching every step, trying not to spill a single drop. Every drop mattered. What struck me was the care behind it. She was carrying a small glass of water, moving slowly and carefully, intent on not spilling a drop. All of that care, all of that attention was being given to something she hoped would grow. Tender care for a little bean plant resting in that small pot and what it might become. I thought about that moment ever since. A few weeks earlier, I was touring the Bowmanville Hospital, speaking with members of the healthcare team. In the emergency department, we stopped beside a donor-funded blanket warmer, a machine that simply warms blankets. All of the equipment we could have been discussing, this was the piece they wanted to talk about. So I asked, and the answer deeply affected me. The staff explained that sometimes there's nothing more they can do medically for a patient. And in those moments, a warm blanket provides comfort. It doesn't change diagnosis, but it does remind someone that they are not facing this moment alone. Healthcare is not only about medicine and technology and buildings. It's at heart, healthcare is about people caring for people. A warm blanket may not cure an illness, but it can ease fear, restore dignity, and remind someone they matter. And the more I've reflected on my time as chair, the more I've come to believe that this is really what our foundation is about. People naturally think we're in the fundraising business. We're not. Fundraising is simply how we express our purpose. We exist to create the conditions for exceptional healthcare to thrive. As chair, I've watched people come together around that purpose. Donors, volunteers, healthcare professionals, staff, community partners. I've witnessed extraordinary generosity and commitment. And because of that generosity, patients have access to equipment, technology, and care that would otherwise not be possible. Because of that commitment, the foundation is well positioned to support exceptional healthcare for years to come. And because of the support of this community, patients and families will continue to receive exceptional care close to home. Important conversations, sometimes challenging conversations, have developed over the past year talking about redevelopment and the future of healthcare in this region. But those conversations aren't really about buildings, they're about people. Underneath all of them lies the same question Lena asked when we were in the backyard. Are we creating the conditions for something extraordinary to grow? Because in many ways, that's exactly what leadership asks of us. No, not simply to respond to what exists today, but to help create what is possible tomorrow. Perhaps leadership is an act of faith. The faith that what we nurture today may become something extraordinary tomorrow. The faith that investments made today will improve lives years from now. The faith that when communities come together around a shared purpose, remarkable things become possible. As I conclude my time as chair, I want to thank everyone who has helped nurture this foundation. Our board, our volunteers, donors, community partners, healthcare teams, and our foundation team. And Maria, thank you for your leadership, for your partnership, and your strong belief in what this foundation can become. As I think back to that afternoon in the backyard, I can still hear Lena's voice. Is that enough, Nona? Perhaps it is a question worth asking ourselves. Have we done enough to care for those who need us today? Have we done enough to create the conditions for a healthier tomorrow? Tonight, as we acknowledge 50 years of this foundation's journey, I believe the answer is yes. Not because the work is finished, it isn't, but because generations of donors, volunteers, staff, healthcare professionals, and community leaders have chosen to contribute to something larger than themselves. And while the work is never finished, the future is stronger because of what has been nurtured here. Looking around this room tonight, I don't have to imagine what that looks like. I can see it in this room, in this community, in a foundation that for 50 years has transformed generosity into impact, compassion into action, and hope into better healthcare. And as I think about Lena carrying that glass of water so carefully, trying not to spill a drop, and I think about a nurse offering a frightened, anxious patient a warm blanket in the emergency department, I realize they're not really different stories. Both are acts of care. Both are acts of hope. Both remind us that even the smallest of things can make a profound difference. For 50 years, this foundation has helped make those moments possible here in our community. And judging by what I see in this room, tonight, I believe the most extraordinary moments are still ahead. Thank you.
Can't come back after that now. She really went off script. Thank you, Laura. I don't think that we could have put your words together like that. We appreciate you. More to come, I promise. At this time, I'd like to welcome Francesca Loretto, Treasurer of the Bowmanville Hospital Foundation, to share an overview of the Foundation's 25-26 financials. Please join me in welcoming Francesca.
And the clicker. The clicker? Great. Thank you very much. And yeah, you're following that with the accountant. I'm so sorry ahead of time. And unlike Laura, I will be sticking to my notes. I have one more term left and I need this to go well. But all joking aside, before I get into the notes, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone in this room, every staff member, donor, volunteer, because you've made my job tonight really, really easy. I've got lots of good news to go through, so I'm going to dive right into it. So as Maria said, my name is Francesca Loretto, and it's my privilege to serve as the treasurer of the Bowmanville Hospital Foundation. As both Laura and Maria shared, for the second consecutive year, the foundation has recorded the most successful fundraising year in our organization's history. Yeah, woo indeed. This success belongs to every donor, every volunteer, sponsor, partner, staff member, board member who believes in the future of healthcare in our region. Together, you are helping build something really extraordinary. So I'm going to try to use this clicker. Okay, starting off, we're going to look at our financial breakdown, focusing on the revenue. Over the past year, the foundation has generated $6.96 million in fundraising revenue. So that's contributing to a total revenue of $7.35 million once we factor in our investment income on our assets. These numbers represent far more than dollars. They represent confidence. Confidence in the Bowmanville Hospital, confidence in local healthcare, and confidence that together we can achieve the transformational vision outlined through the We Care We Can campaign. The generosity of those who stand with us continues to inspire us. Support came through leadership gifts, monthly donations, event participation, sponsorships, planned giving, third-party initiatives, and countless individual contributions. Whether a donor gave $25 or $25,000, every gift has moved us closer to a stronger future for the Bowmanville Hospital. And as treasurer, I am proud to report that the foundation remains financially strong, strategically positioned, and well prepared to deliver the significant investments that lie ahead. So moving on to expenses or expenditures, with growth comes responsibility. Every dollar entrusted to the foundation carries with it an expectation of stewardship, accountability, and impact. Our board and staff take that responsibility very, very seriously. That commitment to accountability is reflected not only in how we invest donor dollars, but also in strong financial controls and oversight. This year, the total expenditures were $1.47 million, including $1.01 million in direct fundraising expenses and about $461,000 in administrative costs. These investments allow us to build sustainable fundraising programs, strengthen donor engagement, expand outreach, and ensure the foundation has the capacity to secure the resources required for both today's hospital needs and tomorrow's redevelopment. The result is an organization that continues to grow its influence while maintaining strong financial oversight and governance practices. So moving on to our designated funds. One of the most exciting indicators of progress in the growth of funds is in the growth of funds dedicated to the future redevelopment of the Bowmanville Hospital. This year, designated funds for the new hospital build increased to more than $17.1 million. In addition, donors directed support towards priority areas throughout the hospital, including ophthalmology, medical services, ambulatory care, critical care, and other essential programs that strengthen patient care close to home. Combined with our general and endowment funds, the foundation's total assets now stand at $22.5 million. That represents a growth of nearly $4.7 million in a single year. These assets reflect years of generosity, careful stewardship, and strategic planning. And more importantly, they demonstrate that our community is not waiting for change to happen, it's actively investing in that change. As we continue advancing towards the redeveloped hospital, these resources will play a critical role in ensuring residents of Durham Region receive the modern facilities, advanced technology, and exceptional care that they deserve. While planning for the future, it remains essential. Donor support is also making a difference today. This past year, the foundation invested a little over $1.1 million in hospital equipment and other priority needs at the Bowmanville Hospital. To address the urgent need to replace 2 essential X-ray units nearing the end of their lifespan, at a time when demand for diagnostic imaging continues to grow, the foundation invested a little over $866,000 to fund 2 new digital X-ray units for Bowmanville Hospital. Every image captured on these new units reflect the power of community support, empowering clinical teams to deliver faster diagnoses and enhance care for thousands of patients each year. In addition, thanks to the incredible generosity of the Bowmanville and Newcastle Lions Club and Lions Club International Foundation, a new laparoscopic surgery tower valued at a little over $285,000 was purchased. The foundation also provided funding for additional equipment and educational bursaries that support our dedicated hospital teams. Every piece of equipment funded by donors has a direct effect on patient care. It means faster diagnoses, improved treatment options, enhanced patient experiences, and better outcomes for families across Clarington and Durham Region. This is really what philanthropy looks like in action. When you support the foundation, you are not simply making a donation, you are helping ensure that patients receive the care that they need and deserve. So as I conclude, I want to draw your attention to the significant growth that's shown on this chart. Over the past 5 years, annual fundraising revenue has grown from $2.5 million to nearly $7 million. That level of growth doesn't happen by chance. It reflects the increasing engagement of our community, the strength of our partnerships, and the confidence donors have in the Foundation's vision and leadership. More importantly, it provides just a glimpse of what's possible. The redevelopment of the Bowmanville Hospital will be one of the most significant infrastructure projects in our region's history. Achieving that vision will require all of us, donors, volunteers, businesses, leaders, healthcare professionals, and advocates, all working together to achieve this common goal. The momentum is real. The foundation is stronger than it's ever been, and our community is stepping forward in unprecedented ways. And the future of the Bowmanville Hospital has never looked brighter. On behalf of the Board of Directors, thank you for your trust, generosity, and belief that we can accomplish this together. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Frankie, for that excellent overview. We sincerely appreciate your continued leadership, your expertise and commitment to ensuring that financial stewardship and transparency for our donors and our community. As we reflect on the Foundation's 50-year legacy, it's important that we recognize the leaders who have helped shape our history and who continue to guide our future. Mr. Kirk Kemp is certainly one of those individuals. A lifelong resident of Bowmanville, president of Algoma, former Foundation board member and chair of our We Care We Can cabinet, Kirk has been an amazing volunteer, donor, and champion for local healthcare. On a personal note, when I stepped into the role as CEO just over 2 years ago, Kirk was one of the first people to believe in me. Uses a lot of sports analogy, I'm getting used to it. But he has been a trusted advisor, a mentor, and someone I continue to learn from. His guidance, encouragement, and steady leadership have meant more than I can express, not only to me personally, but I know to the entire Foundation team. Through both his leadership and the incredible generosity of the Kemp family, Kirk has inspired others to invest in the future of our hospital and the healthcare our community so desperately deserves. It is my privilege to introduce someone who has become a true pillar of this foundation and someone I am incredibly grateful to work alongside. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Kirk Kemp.
Yeah, I forgot my notes. Thanks, Maria. Man, you built me up a little bit there. It is a privilege to be part of this group. I mean, 50 years goes by real fast, and there's a lot of history in this foundation and the hospital. Myself and my brother and sister were born there. My 3 kids that are in their 30s were born there. I still never give up. I know I'm not supposed to say it, but someday I hope that we have a birthing unit back at the Bowmanville, because I got 3 grandchildren now that they went to Lake Ridge head office and did a great job, so they're all healthy, which is wonderful. But there's a lot of history here in this hospital, and there's been a lot of people that have made this happen and get to this point. And currently, we have great leadership under Cynthia Davis, who I call her the boss of the Lake Ridge head office. And there's lots of people that support us, and Carrie Ann and Matt are doing a wonderful job on putting all the meat together to get this building built, which is wonderful. And there's a lot of work in the background. I always chuckle. You see on social media people chirping, "Well, this hospital's never coming." Well, I said to Chris Coy here when we come in, I said, "Well, it's nice to see that," I call it the nurses' building, is moved. I said, there'll still be people who go, "Well, they're not building a hospital." Okay, we're just going to move that building over on Prince Street for nothing. So we're getting very close. And it's been a lot of work. We have a great group of people. I was fortunate enough to be on the board, I don't know how long ago, probably a dozen years ago I came, and I think our budget was like $500,000 we raised. And it's just incredible what the generosity of this community is built. And that doesn't get done just by chance. It gets done by hard work. And we've had a great group of board of directors. I know quite a few. I know most of them that I haven't been on the board for half a dozen years, but I know most of them. That we had a great group when we were there. and they do a wonderful job working hard behind the scenes and in the front, making this happen. And then Maria has this flock of young kids, I call them, that are just wonderful, enthusiastic rascals. Hey, they're less than half my age, for crying out loud. I think I can call them kids, and I say that respectfully, because you'll get to be old real fast, so enjoy the kid. But they're a wonderful group, and I see them at events where there's a bunch of them doing stuff, and they might not be noticing, but I'm looking, and they get along, and there's smiles on their faces and enthusiasm, and that's what makes things happen. And that's so important to have a group of people behind, because they're not the ones, they're there, but it's us in this room and other people that actually help really make those donations happen. And, you know, there's been a lot of people in the past that have done a wonderful job, and I'm going to miss people, but I'd rather say some people that come to my mind and miss some people and apologize for it now. But I think of Tommy Cowan, who was the chair for quite a few years, and his family and Cowan in town continue to spend a lot of money every cotton picking year to support this hospital, and they've been just wonderful. I think Anna Strike and Al probably helped in the background, but Anna was more in front of it in the store there, and she worked decades raising money here and there through all that little bit for the store, but raised the profile. But their families stepped up in a huge way a couple of years ago to support what their mother did. I think of the Rice family. Andrew's here today representing his family. John, he was very low profile kind of a guy, but the people that actually work at that hospital knows how many jobs he did at that hospital. Just incredible. And you know, he probably priced that pretty thin to help the hospital. I know there's some chuckles, but they go, John Rice price anything thin? But he acted like he was really cheap, but he was a very generous guy. You know, I've known him forever. They went to our church. He probably saw me getting christened, for crying out loud, at St. Paul's. So I've known that family for my whole life. And he put a lot into this hospital. You know, there's history. I don't know the details, but I mean, where the helicopter used to land, that was his property. And he gave a great deal for the hospital to have that. And I can go to Andrew living his mom and dad's legacy. He could have made a heck of a lot more money where you saw the Pizza Hut and those houses get bulldozed down than what he has. And is from his generosity and living out his mom and dad's wishes, he got that going to the hospital so that we don't have to build a big tower for parking. And that is huge. That is a huge, and so it's not a big check, but he got a lot less, his family got a lot less, and it saved the hospital millions and millions and millions of dollars. So we can't let that go unnoticed. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention a friend of mine and a business colleague, Hanu Holloman, who unfortunately just passed away here in the wintertime. That guy, probably, I don't know how many places he donated money, because Hanu was a man of few words, but a lot of action. And he built a lot of homes in this community, but he has donated millions of dollars to this hospital. I think it was mentioned at another event, I can't remember which one, that when he built a house in a week or two, I can't remember, it was fun, 5 days. And he got everybody together and built a house, and then gave the proceeds of the house to the hospital. That's quite a few years ago. And then he continued to donate and donate and donate. And it's people like those people that I'm talking about that inspire other people to give. And that's important. And each one of you here are avid supporters of the hospital. And it's you folks are our ambassadors to raising more money. And lots of you probably don't feel comfortable going and saying, let's go grab Maria and see if we can get a few grand out of her. But if you know somebody that's leaning that way, don't be afraid to tell Maria and her team or our team, and we're happy to go I've learned pretty well that I put a little bit of padding on the vise so they don't show a mark, and I crank her down and do the best we can. And my goal is that after I release it and they give the amount that they're going to donate, I want to make sure they're still smiling. People that have been here before and listened to me talk, I can't not say it again. It's a little corny, and I say it all the time, but my dad's younger brother, when I was a kid, he says, when you're helping out people, you got to give till it hurts. And that didn't mean that much to me when I was younger, but I got it when I got a little older. And now I tell people, I just need to find your pain threshold. So we have a great team that's out there donating. We've got a long way to go. It's incredible what we've done in the last few years. We've got a long way to go. And so each one of you can be ambassadors to help us find those people that want to help. Because I can tell you, once you get somebody to donate, there is no better joy for those people when they donate. They feel good. I don't know what it is. It just gives you a rush that you're actually helping. And it's surprising. Even if you got to somebody that thought you're going to give X and you got 4X out of them, they'll feel really good about it because they've dug into their pocket to help something that's special. And in finishing, I just want to say that all the great staff that we have at the Bowmanville Hospital is incredible. You know, the doctors, the nurses, all the support staff, they're actually the frontline people to help us raise the most money. I can tell you, they don't get the credit for that, but they are. It's those great experiences that citizens in our community have had. I can tell you our donation comes from it. I'll get a little emotional here, but from a great service at the emergency department for my kid. And there's all kinds of other people that got those same responses, that they had a great response from this staff that was just extra kind. I'm actually friends of the lady who was in our room delivering my first kid, Eric, 39 years ago. I'm a friend of hers, that she was such a kind lady. Clary, I'm trying to think of her first name now. It's terrible. She lived up Liberty Street on the north of the 3rd. But, you know, it's just those stories. Donna McCleary. Yeah, those stories, they're just incredible. Like those frontline people, even if there's somebody bringing in you a fresh towel or somebody, those experiences inspire people to say, you know what, I come in sick, or my mom or dad come in sick and we went out okay, and those people are very friendly. I can tell you, whenever I have to get a family member, my mom, my dad, my mother-in-law, father-in-law years ago, it was always a warm smile, and you were very relaxed when you came into Bowmanville because you always could see a face that you recognized. And that's the beauty of having a local hospital, and we should not take that for granted. There's a lot of communities that don't have a local hospital, and we're lucky to have one, and we're getting a brand new one, and that's incredible. So I encourage you all to, if you got somebody you think might be able to help out the cause, don't be afraid to let Maria and her team know. And I'm happy to get the old vise out and crank them down and get some money. So thank you very much.
He went off script. I need not tell you why I adore him and the passion he brings. I truly appreciate you, Kirk. Thank you for all that you do. As many of you know, the Bowmanville Hospital Foundation is proud to support Lakeridge Health, one of Ontario's largest health systems serving Durham Region and beyond. At a time of significant growth and transformation in healthcare, strong leadership across the system is more important than ever. Tonight, we are so pleased to have the president and CEO of Lakeridge Health, or Boss Lady as now referred to, Cynthia Davis, with us to share an update from Lakeridge Health. Please welcome Cindy to the podium.
Thanks, Maria. Wow, this is a tough act to follow tonight. And so I just have to share a story because early in my career, I worked at St. Mike's in Toronto, and there was an orthopedic surgeon that I worked with, and I was trying to explain something one day, and he said, "Cindy, I'm a farmer. Just tell me straight out what it is." And I think of that analogy, Kirk, all the time when I hear you speak. And thank you so much for all of your support. And straight talk is what we get, and it gets the job done. And I'm so thankful that you're leading the campaign cabinet. So thank you. On behalf of all of us at Lake Ridge Health, I absolutely want to extend my sincere gratitude and thanks and celebrate with Maria and her team an amazing year of fundraising. And Laura, in terms of you as the board chair and all of the volunteers on the board, we know that you have many opportunities available for volunteering. The fact that you've chosen to volunteer with the foundation to support healthcare delivery is one, again, that we're absolutely grateful for. I know it's a lot of hard work, and together we're going to build healthy communities. So tonight really is about celebration, and I want to talk about where we've been and where our future is going. And for us, you know, you've talked about the 50th anniversary, and it is a testimony, I think, to not only the community, but the remarkable work that the foundation has done to support the hospital. I also want to acknowledge Mayor Foster. You've been a true champion of healthcare. And within Clarington, but also at a regional level too, the leadership that you have shown to help us build what we talk about is something really special for Durham communities that other places in Ontario just simply can't do. How we're connected, building that system of integration to support care close to home. You have stood up every single time and supported us. So on behalf of all of us, and I know there's counselors here tonight, I extend our gratitude as well. You've been remarkable stewards and supporters of us, so thank you. Tonight's theme is a legacy of care, and wow, like the stories that we heard about care and what it means and the impact of it. And I think it again, it doesn't happen spontaneously. It happens because of a caring community, and that's what's in this room tonight. So I just want to provide a few things in terms of where we are then. And this is a picture of me in Bowmanville when I was walking through with my cycling gear on, trying to encourage people to come join Team Cindy. One of the fundraisers that all the foundations participated in this year, Ride for the Ridge, and we had record turnout and a record number of people. And what was interesting is that many people that we went and spoke with talked about what it meant for their communities and for their facilities. But we'll just talk about Bowmanville for a bit in terms of we are building a brand new hospital. And I remember when I came in several years ago and I was speaking to many community groups and they were like a bit skeptical. And I said, it's happening. It absolutely is happening. And so this hospital is going to double in size. But more than that, it's going to be built to the specifications that bring us into today and well into the future in terms of all private rooms, a brand new emergency department, the hub for the eye center for all of Durham region, and to really modernize healthcare in this region. So what we're talking about is not only an expansion for Bowmanville, we're really talking about the expansion of that connected care. By this hospital doubling in size, we'll be able to leverage way more within the Lake Ridge Health family and our system to provide more community supports. And as we think about our future, we've been just recently launched our strategic plan, and it talks about a number of priorities. Exceptional connected care close to home, and certainly it is about capital redevelopment, but it's also about clinical programs and services. Our goal at Lake Ridge is to make sure that there's not one single person that's left behind in Durham region without having access to primary care, and that we can bring care close to home so you don't have to leave Durham region. The second piece is around people. We're in a competitive market, and so when we talk about the work of the foundations in terms of being able to purchase new equipment, every time we do that, it attracts and retains talent. People come where they can have the tools to do their job. And so sometimes when you think about the equipment purchase, you often think about the impact on patients. The other side of that is the impact on the ability for healthcare providers to come to Durham Region. And all of that is so important in this competitive market. We're going to harness technology and innovation over the next 5 years, not for the sake of doing it, but doing it so that we can improve patient care and care delivery and really making care better. And what we say is that by embracing technology, we'll be able to leverage the human side of what we do, which is so important, and nobody can replace that. But we hope that we'll be able to leverage that technology to really add more to the care delivery system. And then the final piece for us is around education and research. So we're quite fortunate to have 4 colleges and universities in Durham Region. And you've heard me talk before about our partnership with Queen's University. Over the next 6 years, and we're now in year 3, we will have 120 students training to become family doctors in Durham Region. And they have had such a good experience. I can tell you that when we speak to them, they say, we love Durham. And why wouldn't you? When you come to beautiful towns like Bowmanville and others throughout Durham Region, and when they think about being able to work as a family doctor in a community where they've been trained and educated and put down roots over the next 6 years, we're really hopeful about what the future means for primary care, which is so important because hospitals serve a purpose, but primary care is the other important piece. And so we talk about the redevelopment and what's next. And so you've heard a lot of things around how we've made some changes on Prince Street with some of the homes that were removed, that we heard about the monumental move of Lambert House and how exciting that was. And I hope that that signals to not only the people that are supporting Lakeridge Health and the Bowmanville Hospital, but also the larger community, that this project is well on its way. So we heard about where we are in the staging for the RFP. We anticipate that this will be selected in late summer, and then we will begin a more public announcement around who the builder is and the next stages of redevelopment. And I think all of that will add momentum to what you're doing on your cabinet. And again, for us, I want to also acknowledge Andrew Rice. So we talk about what community can do and partnership and what it means. And Kirk is absolutely right. If we had not figured out surface parking for Bowmanville, we were looking at, tens of millions of dollars for a parking garage. And what's interesting is that you hear a lot about parking and the cost of parking. Parking garages are completely owned funds. So there's no government funding that goes towards parking garages. That would have incurred debt not only in terms of the build, but it would have incurred debt for multiple years until that facility was being paid off. What the Rice family did has changed the trajectory for so much in terms of the finances of what we're building in Bowmanville. But beyond that, what I would say is how they navigated tenants and community relations have placed so much importance on that it went so smoothly and quietly, and it absolutely could have gone in another direction. Because I can tell you, as the boss lady, I often hear a lot more complaints than I do about good things that have happened. Because when it's good, it flies under the radar. And I just want to say, I want to raise that and say a huge thank you on behalf of all of us at Lakeridge Health. Whoops, I think I went too far ahead, Maria. Oh, what am I doing? Wrong direction. Okay, and so let me end it there. And if I haven't said it enough, and it feels like an insignificant statement to say, but we can't do this without you. We are doing it with you. We have bold aspirations, I can tell you, for Durham Region, for the family of hospitals and care systems that support Lakeridge Health, to create that one system, best health, for healthy, vibrant communities. And so again, on behalf of all of us, our board, we have Peter Hobbs here tonight, who's our vice chair of Lake Ridge Health Board, and who you will know through the foundation as well. There are so many people rowing in the same direction to make this happen. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Cindy, and thank you for staying on script. That was wonderful. We are also grateful for the ongoing support and leadership of Team Clarington. Mayor Foster and Council have been champions, as we heard, of the foundation and the redevelopment project from the very beginning, continually advocating for the future of healthcare in Clarington and Durham Region. Please now join me in welcoming Mayor Adrian Foster to say a few words on behalf of the municipality.
So I'm taking from the introduction a few words and script. And you'll know that I am always provided with a script. I do actually look at it and then I come up and say things. And Maria, we need to talk. When Laura got up, I thought, great. And about 15 seconds in, I thought, oh, I do not want to follow Laura. And then, Frankie, it's okay. The accountant is going to talk. And just a wee bit of passion that came out of that. Kirk, I'm going to talk about you in a minute, Cynthia, the same. So the passion for this project, the passion for something that is fundamental to the health and quality of life in our community is so clearly evident. Kirk did mention that the problem in recognizing people is that you forget people. Kirk, where are you? I can't. Oh, he's way at the back. Kirk, you did in fact forget someone that bears mention, and that could be yourself and the Kemp family for the amazing thank you. So the financial generosity is one thing, but the generosity, the effort and time that you put into this is just so amazing. I will share a true story. You talk about that comfortable vice grip. Many years ago, we had talked with Gary Polanski. Many of you will know that he's the guy that founded the university, and frequently we would go to Gary to find money. And Gary at a meeting said, as I walk down the street, I'm noticing that people are crossing over to the other side. Kirk, you were walking down Bowmanville the other day on King Street, and I was noticing people crossing over to the other side. But thank you for doing that. So it is my pleasure, and I will be brief, to bring greetings on behalf of the municipality of Clarington. I would like you all to do one thing, and if you're on the end of a row, look the other way. But can you look to your left, unless you are staring at a wall, and then look at the right? And could you give each other a round of applause, please? You are, each and every one of you, awesome, whether you are staff, whether you are volunteers, whether you are donors. We would not be here without you. And take a moment to think of 50 years, the lives that have been touched over 50 years of the Bowmanville Foundation. And imagine what the next 50 years with this new hospital is going to bring. And without the efforts of each and every one of you, that would not happen. We heard earlier, we've got Councillor Wu in the back. I don't think everyone has ever met Councillor Wu before. And the same is true. We've got former councillor, and he may as well still be Councillor Ron Huber. For the amount of time, Ron, you are at pretty much every council meeting and showing up. Ron deserves some recognition for... Of course, Councillor El-Hajj, Councillor Zwart, I think, is stuck in Orono. They're having their Canada Day celebration right now as we speak. Councillor Anderson, put your hand up for a second. So many of you in the room will not recall that when Councillor Anderson was the member of provincial parliament, he's the guy that lit the spark. Now, I cannot take anything away from Minister McCarthy. They had taken that spark, they have nurtured that spark and turned it into the flame that it is today. But it was a number of years ago, and that spark if you look at dedication, came there. So Granville, for that we thank you. And yes, I'm sorry. I was going to deny him that applause, but that's all right. So the announcement, and there, I have something somewhere here. It's Heather. There, I see fingers pointing. They're not pointing at me, which is really good. I'm still mystified, but that's all right. We are just building the anticipation of what it is that we're about to do. So while this is not the actual check, and if you saw the video that we did try to go to TD Canada's Trust and deposit a check. The teller was an amazing sport. But this represents the other half of the pledge that Clarington Council made, $7.5 million. Laura, I think I should be giving this to you. As Maria needs to be. Well, why isn't Maria and Cynthia and members of council, please come and join, because you speak to Team Clarington and it really is a team effort. Laura, this was going to be your retirement gift. And we decided to give it to the hospital instead.
All right. Am I gonna pass it to each and every one of you?
Wow. Thank you for staying on script-ish. What a significant announcement for our hospital redevelopment and the We Care We Can campaign. And you are all the very first to hear this tonight. Earlier this year, as indicated, the municipality accelerated the $3.75 million of its historic $7.5 million commitment to our hospital redevelopment project. That early investment provided critical momentum at the important stage of the redevelopment journey, and it reflected tremendous confidence in the transformational change this project will have on healthcare in Clarington. So again, thank you so very much. With this second installment, the municipality has fulfilled its entire commitment, helping move this once-in-a-generation project closer to reality. We are deeply grateful to the municipality of Clarington for its outstanding leadership and partnership. And now it's my pleasure to introduce a special guest speaker this evening. Christine Simpson is an accomplished sports broadcaster whose passion for hockey began at an early age while watching her brothers play the game. She began her career at the Hockey Hall of Fame before becoming the first female in-arena voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs. You go, girl. Since joining Sportsnet in 1998, Christine has built an impressive broadcasting career covering the NHL across major networks such as Sportsnet, Hockey Night in Canada, and now Prime Video's Monday Night Hockey. Throughout her career, Christine has become widely respected for her storytelling and ability to connect audiences to the human side of sport through thoughtful interviews and features. Tonight, Christine joins us to share her personal experience with the healthcare system and the lasting effect it has had on her life and her family's. Please join me in welcoming Christine Simpson.
Thank you so much, Maria. Yeah, my day job usually finds me in hockey rinks across North America, interviewing sweaty hockey players. So this is quite a departure for me, but I am thrilled and honored to be here to share my experience, as Maria mentioned, with the healthcare system through my late mother. I'll begin where it all began for me. I grew up in London, Ontario, the third of 4 children. I had an older sister and, as Maria mentioned, 2 hockey-playing brothers. So I actually blame my career on them and their influence on me. My younger brother, Craig, who's also a broadcaster, so we do have the gift of the gab, I guess, won 2 Stanley Cups as a member of the Edmonton Oilers. So hopefully we'll see that in Toronto one of these days. Anyway, so from our family life, our parents divorced when I was in my 20s, and from that point forward, our mother, Marion Simpson, was on her own. She stayed in the same house we grew up in until her early 80s. Now, before I tell you about her final years, there's one thing you need to know about my mother. Marion Simpson was the most practical woman I will ever know. And that really turned out to be one of the greatest gifts she could have given her children. By the time she was about my age, we already knew exactly what she wanted the end of her life to look like. In her 60s, she announced when she could no longer live independently, she knew exactly which seniors residence she wanted to move into. She had visited friends of her parents there, and looking back, I think she was quietly casing the joint for herself. She arranged her cemetery plot beside her parents'. She made it clear she wanted to be cremated. She had her affairs in order. She even made sure that there was room at that cemetery plot for me beside her one day. That is how far ahead she planned. Now, some people I know find conversations like that to be uncomfortable, maybe even morbid. But in our family, it was just Mom being practical. She wasn't planning for death. She was planning for us. She wanted to spare her children the uncertainty of wondering whether we were making the right decisions on her behalf if the day ever came when she couldn't make them herself. And looking back, that may be the most important lesson she ever taught me. Having those conversations long before you need to have them. You know, when you're talking about a future that seems decades away, you can approach it logically, calmly, without fear, without crisis, because when the moment eventually arrives, emotion can have a way of overwhelming even the clearest thinking, and my mother understood that. And because she did, our family was able to focus less on making decisions and more on loving her. So eventually, when she decided it was time to sell her home and move into the seniors' residence she had chosen years earlier, at the time we actually thought she might be moving a little too soon, sooner than necessary. But what we didn't fully understand yet was she knew something that we didn't. Her cognitive abilities were beginning to decline. The repeated stories, the forgotten names, the misdates, you know, all the small things that families can often explain away were becoming something more. Dementia had quietly entered her life. Now, the good news, she was exactly where she wanted to be. Safe, familiar, surrounded by care. And one thing that struck me throughout her journey was just how many people become part of your family when someone you love enters the healthcare system. As was mentioned, the nurses, the PSWs, the recreation staff, the administrators, the social workers, the people whose names rarely make headlines, but who quietly dedicate their lives to helping others. When COVID arrived, we all learned how essential these people really were. Like many seniors' residences, Mom's home went into lockdown. Visits stopped, isolation increased, and we watched the effects that isolation had on seniors everywhere. The staff did everything they possibly could. Now, in the middle of that period, my older sister died suddenly of a heart attack. We knew we had to tell Mom in person. We also knew visitors weren't allowed. And I'll never forget calling the administrator of a residence, explaining the situation, and without hesitation, she made the exception. She allowed me to come in and spend the night with my mother. And I will never forget that act of compassion. You know, it reminded me that healthcare is not simply about policies and procedures. It's about people. People who understand that sometimes caring requires flexibility. Sometimes it requires humanity. And sometimes it requires recognizing that families need each other. Now, a few months later, Mom broke her hip and entered the hospital system during one of the most difficult periods imaginable. She spent 2 months in hospital without family being able to visit, and it was heartbreaking. Like many people of her generation, she didn't own a smartphone, she didn't use an iPad, and even if she had one, dementia had progressed to the point where she couldn't have navigated it. We relied on occasional video calls arranged by staff who were already stretched beyond belief. Looking back though, I don't remember being angry. I just remember being so grateful. Grateful for people who showed up every day under impossible circumstances. Grateful for nurses who became family when family couldn't be there. Grateful for a local healthcare system that continued to function despite challenges none of us had ever experienced before. That experience also gave me my first real education in how the healthcare system works. I learned that hospitals, long-term care homes, social workers, care coordinators, and families all have to work together. And I learned how difficult decisions can be. I learned how important it is to advocate for people who can no longer advocate for themselves. And most importantly, I learned that local healthcare is not one building, it's a system. A network of people, services, and organizations all working together to support patients and families. When it works well, it is extraordinary. And when families are at their most vulnerable, it becomes indispensable. It's one of the reasons I'm so pleased to be here with the Bowmanville Hospital Foundation tonight, because one thing many people don't realize is that excellent care requires more than excellent people. It requires resources. At Bowman Hospital, I've learned so much about what you're doing here. 100% of equipment and furniture needs are funded through donor support. 100%. Just think about that. Every monitor, every piece of equipment, every chair a family member sits in during a difficult day is there because someone in this community decided local healthcare matters, and donors make that possible. And while patients may never know the names of those donors, they benefit from their generosity every single day. My family certainly understands the power of gratitude. And in fact, one of the things I love most about the Foundation's Circle of Gratitude program is that it gives families a way to say thank you. Because how do you adequately thank the people who cared for someone you love? How do you thank the nurse who showed compassion, the staff member who made a difficult day easier, the team that treated your family member with dignity and respect? Programs like Circle of Gratitude turn appreciation into something lasting, and they allow one family's gratitude to help the next family receive exceptional care, and that is a beautiful thing. My mother's life ended in November of 2024 following another fall and another broken hip. She surprised us all by surviving the surgery, but this time her body was telling us it was time. And the end-of-life care she received was one of the greatest gifts our healthcare system has ever given our family. And as others have said, I still keep in touch with the staff from her care home. I visit them when I'm in London. We exchange emails. They reach out when they see me on television. That's how meaningful those relationships became. And that might be the final lesson my mother left with me. Healthcare isn't just about extending life. It's about supporting dignity. It's about reducing suffering. It's about helping families navigate some of the hardest moments they'll ever face. And it's about making sure no one walks these moments alone. Because our mom planned so well, her children never had to wonder what she wanted. Because dedicated healthcare professionals cared so deeply, she never had to face her final years alone. And because communities continue to invest in local healthcare, families like mine receive the support they need when they need it most. So tonight I encourage all of us to do two things. First, have those conversations. Talk about your wishes, create your will, make your plans, give your family the gift my mother gave us. And second, continue supporting local healthcare, whether through donations today, through the Circle of Gratitude program, or through planned giving that creates a legacy for future generations. Because none of us knows when our family will need the healthcare system, but all of us can help ensure it's there when we do. Thank you so much.
We're an emotional group. Christine, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your mom's story so openly and so beautifully. You reminded us this evening that healthcare is ultimately about people. It's about compassion, it's about dignity, and the wonderful professionals who care for us during life's most difficult moments. You also reminded us that behind every piece of equipment, every act of care, and every patient experience is a community that chose to make a difference. Thank you. The success of the 25-26 fiscal year reflects the growing momentum behind our We Care We Can campaign and the confidence in the future of Bowmanville Hospital. But an achievement like this is never the result of a single person or moment. It's the product of partnerships and belief in what's possible when a community rallies around a common purpose. Today, Bowmanville Hospital serves tens of thousands of patients each year, and as Durham Region continues to grow, the need for modern, accessible healthcare has never been more urgent. And as we've heard tonight, we are beginning to see that vision take shape. At the same time, community investments reach extraordinary levels. It says I have to move the slide. This past year, stick to the script. This past year, our donors helped bring critical new equipment to Bowmanville Hospital, enhancing patient care and giving our healthcare teams the tools that they need to provide the very best care right here close to home. The purchase of 2 digital X-ray units was made possible through the generosity of major donors, community supporters, our spring and holiday giving campaigns, a generous $25,000 giving match from Baker Tilly, and the support of hundreds of guests who attended our gala. We are also deeply grateful to the Bowmanville and Newcastle Lions Clubs, together with the Lions Club International Foundation, as we heard earlier, whose generous contribution funded a laparoscopy tower and instrument set. This investment is helping expand minimal invasive surgical care, leading to improved patient outcome and, of course, recovery. These investments demonstrate the power of philanthropy. Every dollar given by our community has a direct and lasting impact on the care patients receive at Lakeridge Health Bowmanville Hospital. This past year also brought our community together in a meaningful way. Hundreds of participants sponsored and volunteers came together for our Racing for Health gala that raised more than $420,000 in support of our X-ray campaign. We closed our fiscal year with Pathways to Impact, which welcomed more than 100 community members, businesses, and nonprofit leaders to explore ideas, strengthen relationships, and inspire action. We also witnessed incredible generosity from community partners, local businesses, volunteers, and families who continue to believe in the future of healthcare in our community. This year, 2 historic congregations chose to leave a lasting legacy through transformational gifts to our We Care We Can campaign. Maple Grove United Church contributed $145,000, and St. Andrew's Church donated $75,000 through the proceeds from the sale of their historic church building. Yes. And although their buildings may no longer stand, their commitment to care for the community will continue for generations to come. We were also honored to receive a number of significant gifts, including a $75,000 pledge from the Henry Mortgage Team, $50,000 from the Canadian Union of Skilled Workers, $125,000 from Donna Lugan, and $50,000 from Angelique and Denzel Diaz. To each of them, thank you for your generosity and belief in what we're building together. Community fundraising also reached an exciting milestone this year. Through more than 55 third-party fundraising initiatives, local businesses, community organizations, and residents recorded a record-breaking $200,000 in support of the future redevelopment, from golf tournaments, community events, businesses donating portions of their proceeds. These initiatives are proof that philanthropy doesn't belong to just one person or to one organization. It belongs to an entire community coming together for a common purpose. And while many choose to make a difference during their lifetime, others choose to leave a legacy that will continue long after they're gone. One such individual was Armando Martone. Through a generous estate gift, Armando and his wife Sylvia chose to invest in the future of Bowmanville Hospital, ensuring generations of patients and families will continue to benefit from exceptional care close to home. Finally, I'd like to recognize an important partnership that is helping move our redevelopment project forward. As Cindy mentioned earlier, this evening, Lakeridge Health has been working closely with Andrew Rice to acquire the land adjacent to the Bowmanville Hospital that is needed to support the future redevelopment through additional parking. While land transactions are often viewed as simple business deals and business decisions, this one required patience. It required partnership and a genuine commitment to the community. Andrew worked very closely with Lakeridge Health to thoughtfully relocate both the residential tenants and the commercial tenants who had called those properties home. Andrew has also undertaken the necessary demolition of the buildings to prepare the site for construction of the future parking area. He did this, helping ensure this important project can continue to move forward. I'm pleased that some of the business owners are here with us this evening, including the owners of Pizza Hut, Teresa Hartenberg, Chris Blackburn, Krista Nicholson, and the owner of Bowmanville Glass, Jeremy McDonald. We thank them for their understanding and their flexibility and their support throughout this process. I also want to acknowledge the Bowmanville and Newcastle Lions Clubs, whose members are here with us this evening. Beyond their incredible support of healthcare through philanthropy, they have consistently demonstrated what it means to invest in the future of the community. To Andrew, to his tenants, to the Lions Clubs, and so many more, and to everyone who played a role in getting us to this point, thank you. Your partnership reminds us that building a new hospital isn't just about bricks and mortar. It's about a community coming together, each contributing in their own way to create something that will benefit everyone. I'd be remiss as well not to mention, this year we also mourned the loss of one of the foundation's most devoted champions, Hannu Hellman. For nearly 4 decades, Hannu stood alongside Bowmanville Hospital as a donor, as an advocate, and a local leader. As co-founder of Hellman Homes, he helped shape the growth of Clarington, but his influence extended far beyond the neighborhoods he built. From his earliest gift to his leadership support of the We Care We Can campaign, Hannu consistently demonstrated what is meant to invest in the well-being of community. His generosity, his vision, and unwavering commitment to local healthcare have left an enduring mark on Bowmanville Hospital and the countless lives it's touched. On behalf of the foundation, we extend our sincere gratitude to Hannu and the entire Hellman family. His legacy will continue to inspire all of us for years to come. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize something that can't always be measured in financial statements. Generosity isn't just about making a donation. It's about giving your time. It's about sharing your expertise, lending your voice, opening doors, advocating for our mission, and stepping forward when your community needs you most. Every one of those contributions matter. To our volunteers, our donors, community partners, ambassadors, and champions, I thank you. Your generosity in all its forms is helping build a stronger future for healthcare in our community. And of course, none of this would be possible, and none of that we'd be able to accomplish this past year would be possible without the leadership of an exceptional board of directors. Boy, am I lucky. To every member of our board, thank you for your guidance, your thoughtful governance, your unwavering commitment to this foundation and to the future of the Bowmanville Hospital. This evening, I'd like to recognize 2 directors whose terms are coming to an end. First, our chair, Laura Shore. Laura joined our board in 2019 and has served in several leadership roles, including vice chair and for the past 2 years as board chair. Laura assumed the role of chair during one of the most significant transition periods in our foundation's history. At the same time, she welcomed me a brand new CEO. Boy, was I a challenge. We were building a relatively new leadership team, continuing to grow the organization and advancing what has become the largest fundraising campaign in our foundation's history. Through it all, Laura provided steady leadership, thoughtful advice, and unwavering support. She asked the right questions, offered guidance, and when it was needed, she always led with confidence, kindness, and genuine commitment to our mission. Speaking personally, Laura has been an incredible source of support to me. Her trust, counsel, and encouragement have been invaluable as I've grown into the role of CEO. And I will always be grateful for the confidence she placed in both me and our team. And I want her to know that I'm good. Laura, on behalf of all of us, thank you so much for your leadership, for everything that you have done, and you have placed and positioned the foundation for its next chapter, and your impact will be felt for many years to come. I would also like to recognize Isabel Pete. Isabel has been a wonderful member of our board and someone who has always been willing to step in whenever, wherever she is needed. Whether serving on committees, supporting our governance work, volunteering at foundation events, or simply lending a helping hand, Isabel has consistently given her time and generosity with enthusiasm. She has never said no. Isabel, thank you for your dedication, your kindness, and your willingness to always say yes when the foundation needed you. People like you are the heart of the organization like ours, and your contributions have helped strengthen this foundation in so many ways. On behalf of all of us, thank you for your service, your friendship, and the lasting impact you've made on our foundation. As we thank two outstanding directors, we're also excited to welcome new leadership. It is my pleasure to formally welcome Lindsay Hamilton as our incoming board chair. Lindsay brings extensive experience in stakeholder relations and communication through her leadership with Ontario Power Generation, along with a deep commitment to her community. She is a thoughtful leader who isn't afraid to ask the difficult questions, challenge our thinking when needed, and always keep the bigger picture in focus. I look forward to working alongside Lindsay as we continue building on the momentum we've created. I'm also pleased to announce that Chris Coy will be serving as our new vice chair. Following a distinguished 37 years in healthcare, including serving as vice president of clinical programs at Lakeridge Health, Chris brings invaluable experience, thoughtful leadership, and a deep understanding of our healthcare system. I know our foundation will continue to benefit greatly from her guidance. Chris Kalstein joins us with more than 30 years of experience in engineering, operation, and strategic leadership, bringing value, expertise in governance and risk management. And we also have Janal Shah, who is a chartered professional accountant and senior audit manager with more than 14 years of experience in audit, risk management, and financial reporting. She brings strong financial expertise, nonprofit governance experience, and a passion for giving back to the community. Please join me in welcoming Chris and Janal to the Bowmanville Hospital Foundation family. I'd now like to recognize and thank our partners at Lakeridge Health. To Cindy Davis, Trevor Stewart, Kirsten Burgomaster, Matt Cannon, Carrie Ann, the senior leadership team, and the entire capital planning team, thank you for your continued partnership, collaboration, and shared commitment to building the future of healthcare for our community. We work so well together. Together, we continue moving the important work forward. Change, final slide. Now I have one more group that I'm especially excited to recognize as we celebrate the Foundation's 50th anniversary. We're reminded that this organization was built by people who chose to step forward when their hospital needed them most. Their generosity has funded equipment, expanded programs and services, supported redevelopment, and touched the lives of countless patients and families over the past 5 decades. Among us this evening are supporters who have stood beside us, beside our foundation for decades, some for more than 40 years. Their generosity has helped shape not only our history, but also our future. If you are one of those incredible supporters whom we have invited to join us this evening, would you please stand or simply raise your hand so you can be recognized? That was beautiful. Your generosity has helped build the foundation we know today. And on behalf of every patient, every family, and future generation, we thank you for your kindness. Thank you for believing in healthcare close to home. Now, my final remarks, I promise. I'd like to recognize a group that has the privilege of carrying the legacy forward every single day. To Matt, Zach, Leanne, Abby, Sarah, Mandy, Aaron, Jen, and Christian, thank you for your passion, your professionalism, your resilience, and your unwavering commitment to our mission. You care deeply about the community. You care deeply about our donors and our volunteers. Most importantly, about the patients and families that we serve. This team shows up every single day with purpose, compassion, and an unwavering belief that together we can build something even greater for the future of Bowmanville Hospital. It truly is an honor to lead you, and I'm grateful every day for the privilege of working alongside each of you. I will always choose you. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking our incredible foundation team. Kirk joked about kids. I say this respectfully as well. They're the children that I have that keep me young and give me grays all at the same time. This now concludes the Bowmanville Hospital Foundation's annual general meeting. While we have celebrated many milestones tonight, what continues to inspire us most is the unwavering commitment of this community. Every gift, every volunteer, every act of advocacy has helped us closer to a modern hospital that will serve patients and families for decades. We hope you all join us at our inaugural Steps for Care 5K walk on September 27th and our Harvest Ball on November 6th as we continue building the next chapter in Bowmanville Hospital Foundation's legacy. Thank you.